Hello everyone and welcome to today's video where we will be discussing the long-awaited PC port of the iconic 2013 game, The Last of Us Part 1. For nearly a decade, anyone wanting to play The Last of Us video games for themselves has needed to own a PlayStation console. However, that's finally changed with the PC port of The Last of Us Part 1. The game was originally a PS5 exclusive last year and earned widespread critical acclaim, with many pointing to it as the definitive way to experience The Last of Us. Today, we will discuss the various aspects of the game, including the graphics, gameplay, accessibility options, and performance on PC. GAMEPLAY. The Last of Us Part 1 is nearly a one-to-one remake in terms of the gameplay, story, and general content. With some exceptions, it is missing the original Last of Us Factions multiplayer mode, which is a shame because it was a genuinely strong addition to the original game back in the day. It's possible that the upcoming Last of Us multiplayer game played a role in factions being set aside in The Last of Us Part 1, but regardless, it's still disappointing that it didn't make the jump in the remake. The action in The Last of Us is second to none, with a realistic approach to violence that lends each fight more weight than one might be used to in a video game. It's unnerving to shoot an enemy and hear them choke on their blood, but it's disturbing details like these that help The Last of Us stand out from other games. Graphics. The big selling point of the remake is the graphics, which have been vastly improved. The 2013 game looked great for its time, but Part 1 pushes things further, with stunning new environmental details and more realistic character models. It looks absolutely incredible when played on high or ultra settings. However, the game struggled with high and ultra settings on our PC, even though we exceeded The Last of Us PC recommended requirements. Setting the graphics to ultra caused the most frequent problems, with flickering textures and other graphical oddities a regular occurrence. Pushing things down to high alleviated the issues quite a bit, but did not eliminate them completely. The only way to play The Last of Us on PC reliably was to lower it to medium settings. Story. The Last of Us has one of gaming's best stories, but at this point, it's been told, retold, remade, and adapted for television. Those that have already played through the game or watched the show recently may want to focus squarely on gameplay when playing the remake. Luckily, most of the cutscenes in The Last of Us can be skipped, though there are still many moments in the game where control is wrestled away from the player to show an unskippable, albeit brief, cinematic. It would have been a nice quality of life feature to be able to truly skip every single scene in the game. But at least the longer ones can be bypassed. Accessibility options. The Last of Us Part 1 is a remake of the award-winning 2013 original, bringing Joel and Ellie's story to modern standards by upping the graphics, adding more accessibility options, and introducing new game modes. One thing that The Last of Us Part 1 has that the original didn't is the Left Behind expansion built in and accessible from the start. Left Behind was a standalone expansion for the original Last of Us that revealed more about Ellie's backstory. Thanks to Left Behind being part of the package and enjoying the same massive upgrades as the base game, those playing The Last of Us Part 1 as their introduction to the franchise can have a more complete view of one of gaming's greatest stories out.